Here, back here with another video. So on this video here today, be doing the morning market brief for the 15th of March 2022. So what do we have on the table today? We're going to speak about the US 10-year treasuries and touch on Bitcoin, look at gold, the S&P 500, and then also look at WTI oil. And then on the South African side, we're going to look at USDZAR, and then on the JSE, we're going to look at Mr. Price clicks, as well as PEPKOR and Santova. So remember, guys, the previous weekend we were in Durban. We did our session there in Durban. It was really much appreciated for all of those guys that came through. So on the 26th, remember, we are in Newcastle at Isakabuli. So we are going to be presenting an introduction to investing. So we're going to be talking about shares, forex, crypto, and of course the metaverse. So we are in partnership with the Genesis Markets. So if you are in Newcastle and in surrounding areas, do come in and join us there on the 26th of March. So the cover charge there is only 250. So we will be talking and unpacking more things about investing. So the top story, as usual, the war in Ukraine and Russia. So what they are telling us is that the fear of the Russia aggression could spill into Poland. So we are seeing that Russia, they are busy there in the Ukraine. So they are telling us that the fear could spill into Poland. So Poland might actually catch strays there if they keep on helping the Ukraine. So we saw that the Pentagon stopped Poland from giving Ukraine former Soviet fighter jets. So they stopped and blocked that thing. So yeah, it's just about that. But the biggest story for this week, it is of course the FOMC. So the FOMC is going to be taking place tomorrow, which is March 6th, the 16th. And so the Fed is expected to increase interest rates with 25 basis points. So that is pretty much being priced into the markets, that and the Fed is going to increase interest rates with the 25 basis points. But at the same time, the fear on markets, as much as there is this war that is happening, at the same time, inflation is still on the cards here. Inflation is the biggest thing here. Inflation will probably hit us globally, not just in the US. Even here in South Africa, we're going to feel that pain, the inflation story. So we've seen that the US 10-year yield has been moving in line with what the Fed has been saying, that they are going to raise their interest rates on their March 16th meeting. So the March 16th meeting, it is of course tomorrow. So we've been speaking about the March 16th meeting for about 3 months now. So now it is actually going to take place there. So the government bonds, they were seeing that they are moving higher there. So they broke off this level and came back to retest the level, and now we're actually seeing the market actually moving higher, trading above the 2% level. So those are just treasuries there. So if the treasuries rise, of course something actually happens there on this other side, on the US dollar as well. So if we're looking at the US dollar index, we might see that the dollar is actually moving in line with what actually the treasuries are doing. So we might actually see the dollar rising higher from tomorrow onwards because of the 25 basis points that the Fed is going to increase the interest rates weakness. So we are still pretty much bullish on the US dollar itself. So if we're looking at a Bitcoin, BTC USD. So the story of Bitcoin, on the other hand, so people were telling us that since Russia is being sanctioned, since Russia is being given all those sanctions over the past weeks, that the crypto market perhaps will start jumping, of which it did happen, but we are still seeing some very, very much bearish action on the crypto market, and Bitcoin is trading at the 38,394 level. So if this level here at the 33,853 it breaks, so that is a major support level. So if that level breaks, you might actually see the crypto market free falling, the Bitcoin market, if I could say, free falling back to 28,000. That's a level it last traded at in June 2021. So we might actually see the markets going that side, because if we are looking at the structure of the Bitcoin itself, it is actually screaming, it is actually telling us that Bitcoin is pretty much bearish there. So the 17,200 level is pretty much still there on the cards. So let us look at gold. So we have seen some really soaring commodity prices. They've been going higher aggressively, but now the past couple of days we've seen that commodities are actually pulling back down lower. But what I'm just guessing here myself, that was just panic buying there, and then maybe like some speculators just jumping into the markets. That's why price actually pushed aggressively going higher. But now this level that is right here today here on the daily chart, so this is an FTR candle that is here, so we might actually see maybe things turning around, that the gold will start actually to move back higher again. So the market is pulling back and then it's trading at this FTR level, so we might actually see gold moving higher again. So the market is pulling back and it's giving back some gains that it made, so we might actually see gold moving higher again. So if we're looking at the oil market, the story of oil, it's pretty much almost similar to what we're seeing there with gold. It's pretty much almost similar with what we're seeing there on gold. So oil again, it did touch a high of 132, which we anticipated that it might do. So now again it is pulling back to the it's actually trading below the $100 mark now. So you might actually see maybe oil coming to the $91 per barrel, and then we might actually see the bullish trend actually continue, if I could say. Maybe the bullish trend might actually continue. So the oil market is also doing a pullback. So after this, if it starts to move higher, you might actually see oil going back to the $132 level, and then even as high as the $150 per barrel level. So if the pullback still continue to go lower, we might actually see oil coming to retest the $84.53 level. So if we can look at Euro USD, and then going to check out the indices. So if we're looking at euro dollar, so the story of euro dollar, it is just the opposite of what the US dollar index is doing. So we are seeing that the dollar index is actually moving higher, gearing for a strong move higher. So we are seeing that price of euro USD might actually reject this level that is currently trading on. So if I do a top-down analysis, I might actually see that here on the 4-hour charts, price is actually bouncing on this level. It's actually bouncing. This is the 1.100 level. So it is just an important level. So we might see actually euro USD getting rejected on this level. So that's a 4-hour chart. If I could even go lower to a lower time frame, we can see that on the lower time frame, euro dollar, it is actually rejecting this level. That is right here. That's 1.100 psychological level. If I could say it is rejecting this level, you might see euro dollar moving lower. So if you can look at the NASDAQ, so what's actually happening on Wall Street, technology companies are being hammered down. So we also have like that story that is currently booming in China. The tech companies there in China are also being hammered down because the NASDAQ itself, the exchange, is saying that they might delist some Chinese companies that are listed in the US. So that story is actually pulling down the technology heavy NASDAQ 100. So the 13,000 level, it is very much critical. So we are seeing that NASDAQ is trading below this 13,000 level, and you might actually see the NASDAQ pushing even lower to 12,270, which is aggressive. But by the way things have been happening, almost every level that I've spoken about previously, we did reach those levels. So that 13,000, sorry, that's 12,270 level, it is not that far. Perhaps the extreme levels that we could be saying, it's this 11,538, of which if you can look at the structure, the structure is just telling us that the NASDAQ is really bearish. It is extremely bearish. So it could even move lower to even this 10,000 level. That is extreme again, but by the way things have been happening, that 10,000 level can happen even as sooner or as quick than we actually think it might happen, because 13,000, we spoke about it a few weeks ago, and then we did achieve that level. So looking at the SPX, I'm going to look at the futures chart of the SPX. So the SPX, again, the structure, it is just screaming that it is bearish. So we are seeing that the market might actually move might actually move below the 4,000 level, which is there. So now currently we are trading at 4,139. So that is just 139 points away, which maybe could happen in a single day. So the whole stock market, it is in a corrective phase, because even if I could look at even if I could look at the German 30, which is a DAX, then we are actually seeing that apart from all those things that I spoke about, this one it was the most accurate analysis that we did, that we will see the DAX actually trading below this blue level here, and then it went aggressively, and now it's currently retesting this blue level again. So 12,470, it is still there on the cards on the DAX. So the markets there in Europe are pretty much under a lot of stress lately because of the war, and also the Fed raising their interest rates, and as well as inflation being over the moon, inflation being at levels that we haven't seen in some countries, levels that inflation haven't been seen in over 30 years. So there's just a lot of things that are currently happening in the market. So it's up to you how you decipher this information, because there's a lot of moving parts that are happening in the market. So it's up to you whether to how to you decipher this information, so you will make the correct choices when it comes to your investing. Because even if you do not have any position, you can stay in the sidelines until the dust settles. So looking at USDZAR, we're actually seeing that there's a double bottom, which is right here. So this double bottom is actually in line that the US dollar, it is strong. So USDZAR, it is currently trading at 15.16 at this very moment. So 15.50 is on the cards, even 1588, and then the 16,500, the 16,050 cents level, it is on the cards. So let us look at the JSE listed equities. Mr. Price clicks PEPKOR, and then going to check out Santova. So those are three retailers then. So if we look at MRP, I'll also throw in WOOLWORTHS as well. So Mr. Price, the daily charts, the market is ranging, but if we look at an even bigger time frame, we might see that maybe things can just turn around from here onwards, because as long as this level that is right here, it still holds, and perhaps we might actually see Mr. Price actually moving higher. And so with inflation moving higher, so we know that retailers, they are going to benefit from the high inflation, because prices will go higher. So after Mr. Price, let us check out clicks. Clicks, it is pretty much on a choppy, it is moving sideways on a choppy spree. But if this level, let me just say this, if the 280 rand mark, it still holds, maybe we might have a fighting chance there with clicks as well. So after clicks, let us look at PEPKOR, and then I said I'm going to throw in WOOLWORTHS. So PEP, okay, PEP, what actually happened on PEP, it went aggressively low to retest the 18 rand level. So we might actually see maybe PEP actually bulls there some pep bulls actually moving higher, try to push the market to 25 rand, even as high as the 31 rand level where it was there. So Woolworths, and then going to close. So the story of Woolworths again, if we see this, that there is this big pattern that is right here, which is, I could say maybe it is a reverse head and shoulder. So this is the left shoulder, this entire part is the head, and then this is the right shoulder. So as long as it's still trading above this blue zone here, Woolworths might keep on pushing higher with its bullish stance. So the last one is Santova. So Santova, it's one of those logistics companies that are listed in the JSE alongside with OneLogics. So Santova, I'm pretty much impressed with this analysis. I didn't take this position. I think I once took it, and then I had to close it because I wanted to buy something else. But it has been moving aggressively, so I regret closing it. But it has been moving aggressively, so now it's trading above 5 rand, and we might actually see Santova actually pushing higher again. So guys, those are the charts of interest for this week. I'm sorry I didn't post this video on Sunday, but I was still busy. But now I'm back in full force. We are going to work. So remember, on the 26th of March, we are in Newcastle at Isagabuli BNB Section 5. The name of our session there is My Teacher, My Wealth. We are going to be talking about an introduction to investing. We're going to be talking about shares and forex, crypto, and as well we're going to touch on the rest of it. So we are in partnership with Regenesis Markets, which is Regenesis Markets. It is a financial FSP. They are authorized to conduct business and sell CFDs and sell forex to retail investors in South Africa. So I thank you guys. I'll definitely see you and check you out on the next video. It's goodbye for me. So take it easy there and be aware when we are trading a NFP. Sorry, the FOMC on March 16th, which is tomorrow. So take care and God bless.